I'm looking at the puppet in the mirror.
Good morning and welcome, Chi Clubbers. Welcome, Chi Challengers. Are we ready to kick off this awesome week of Chi-filled fun and relaxation?
We've promised a full experience of complete levitation and energizing practices over this next 7 days.
I'm Ozzy the Ostrich, and this is Noah. And now getting ready for the man, the woman, the Shelton!
Ah! All right, good morning and welcome. I'm Chris Shelton.
I'm Parisa Shelton.
So if you're brand new to the Chi Club and the 7-day Chi Challenge, we'd like to welcome you. And so we thought we'd start off today's class with both of us teaching, because what we're going to be talking about are some of the foundations of Qigong, which is something that we kind of overlook. If you're a Chi Club member, over this past, year and a half or so, some of the things like the Wuji posture, what does that even look like? I talk very basically about, bringing the feet out, shoulders width apart, and those types of things. So we're going to break down the 3 regulations and then the 3 Chi clearing exercises and answer some very basic questions.
Right, and even if you are an experienced practitioner all the time, it's always good to go back to the basics, back to the fundamentals, to remind ourselves and refresh. So
yes.
How does that sound? How are we feeling on this fine morning? Good
well,
morning,
I tell you this,
Lola?
What I like about the word fundamentals is it has the word fun in it. So
all right, well, we're going to have a lot of fun.
All right, so let's get started here. So we're going to start off with our Wuji posture. And what does that look like? Now, if you are too tired to practice Qigong, we advise that instead of not taking the class, we advise that you sit down. Okay,
standing.
Yeah, but if you're not, we advise not to take the class. So some people would say, okay, well, I'm too tired, I don't feel good today, I'm just not going to take the Qigong class, I'm going to check out. Please do it from a seated position. And if you're doing it from a seated position, if anyone out there is a paraplegic, what you do is you just have your legs out, shoulders width apart, if possible. The hands would be resting on the thighs, either face down or face up. And then the same principles happen even if you're standing. So then from there, we gently tuck the chin. By tucking the chin, it presses up on the crown point on the top of the head. The breath is long, steady, even, and deep into the lower dantian. But then from there, the tip of the tongue gently curls to the roof of the mouth behind the teeth, as if saying the letter N. Okay, so if we're standing, what we're going to do is we're going to have our feet out, shoulders width apart, toes pointing straight ahead, gently unlocking those knees. And then from there, we'll tuck that sacrum underneath. Okay, when we tuck that sacrum underneath, there is an acupuncture point right opposite the belly button between the left and the right kidney called the Ming Men, or the gate of fire, which helps to stimulate the kidney qi of the body, which does all kinds of things for your heart, for your metabolism, all kinds of things. All right, so from here, if we're starting off in a standing Wuji posture, we could hollow out our armpits like we have a couple eggs underneath our arms. We want our hands to be resting above the thighs like we have water balloons resting above the thighs, okay? We're going to lightly then squeeze the anal sphincter muscle. That's her favorite word. I always get a chuckle. And then from there, the second regulation from there, this is the first regulation is Wuji. Second regulation is breath. We want to focus on the breath, long, steady, even and deep into the lower dantian. And as you inhale, you want to feel that lower abdomen. We're talking 1 inch below the belly button. Expand left, right, up, down, front and back like a balloon. Now, if you have to, you could always place your hands gently on the lower abdomen just to see if you could feel as you inhale the abdomen expanding. And then as you exhale, to see and feel as it contracts. So with each inhalation and exhalation, we're going to expand the abdomen. Feel the breath of life flow through our bodies. And the breath is always through the nose, in which, unless we're doing other practices, but most of the time we can regulate the better flow of the breath through the nose, regulating our flow of qi better. So from this Wu-Ji posture, you may notice the weight's more on the balls of the feet. You may notice, now that we're focusing on our breath, you may notice some slight swaying back and forth, and this is normal. As your body tries to find its natural equilibrium. In fact, Wu-Ji stands for emptiness or nothingness. So you're trying to achieve the state of complete emptiness, emptiness of the mind. And then the third regulation is mind intent. We have a saying that the imagination leads the mind, and the mind leads the smooth flow of the Qi. And if you have a hard time understanding or conceiving what Qi is, just think of it in terms of blood or fluids inside the body, moving around.
And about the mind intent, let's start with the practice pulling down heavens, and then we'll kind of talk through it. So mind intent, would you say, is the most important of the three regulations?
I would say that yes, trying to harness the mind. And somebody asked the question, well, if my mind is going all over the place, how can I focus on the practice? Then my answer to that then is to focus on the breath. Because as you consciously breathe, it's impossible to focus or think of anything else.
The other thing is that most people don't realize how powerful and strong our thoughts really are. And what we think about, we bring about, and we can channel our thoughts in a specific direction in order to achieve a desired outcome.
Correct.
Okay, Qi clearing practice. So the arms come up about shoulder height, and one arm in front, the other arm behind. Glancing at the tips of the fingers. We'll start slow here. Okay, here's where we really guide the breath in and out through the nose. And then you can use your mind intent or your mind focus and imagine as if the arms and the fingertips are like the bristles of a broom. As if we could sweep away any stuck or stagnant energy. Almost like you could take any problems or projects, any challenges or obstacles, and place them to the side for the next 15 minutes or so as we take an inward journey to come into more full alignment within and all around us. These three regulations, or these three pillars, if nothing else, from this Qi challenge could be a key component into changing the trajectory of your day, but also changing the trajectory of your life. That Wu-Ji posture that Chris went over, and maybe we'll do a little demonstration in a bit, is actually the most strongest position you can align your body.
Yes, in fact, if you watch any professional or most professional sports, a tennis player, somebody playing golf, a baseball player, meaning with the person who's up at bat when they swing at the ball, boxers, in order to keep their guard up, are standing in the Wu-Ji posture. So they may not call it Wu-Ji. And what do I mean by that? If you look at the pictures, any still pictures closely, as they're swinging at the tennis ball or swinging at the golf club or the golf ball, you'll notice that their sacrum is tucked underneath. And this is one of the key components, is having that sacrum tucked underneath. Now, we're kind of taught that it's better to have an S-curved spine, but in Chinese medicine, you actually alleviate pressure off the spine when you tuck that sacrum underneath. And like I said, you actually become much more powerful in your posture and in your stance when you stand that way. So if you can start practicing it, and this is also my book, Qigong for Self-Refinement, Total Health with the 5 Elements. We talk more deeply about the Wu-Ji posture. But even if you're standing in line at the grocery store, or standing in line somewhere, or washing dishes, start practicing keeping the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth behind the teeth and standing in this Wu-Ji posture.
All right, let's slow it back down to the center midline. And one time, inhale, nice deep breath. And exhale, long, slow breath out. Settling into the practice. Let's move into our bouncing set. As we bring the feet together a bit more narrow, we're going to start to lightly bounce on the balls of the feet. And then close your eyes or take an unfocused gaze as you bring your attention back to the breath. Start to notice, scan, and feel any tension or tightness, any aches or pains, any frustrations or irritations. Imagine this gentle bouncing as if it could break free the tension and clear the pathway to health and happiness, to ease. As we scan the body using the mind's eye, let's start at the bottom of the feet and feel your feet connected into the floor. Just notice your connection with the earth, which sustains our life. Let's move up the feet into the ankles, and any tension or tightness through the ankles, feel it dissipating and leaving the body now. Move up the legs into the knees, any tension, tightness through the knees, feel it leaving out through the balls of the feet. As we move up the thighs into the hips and the groin, feel the lower belly and feel the lower back, feeling the chest and the mid-back. That space between the shoulder blades, the upper back, feeling the armpits, upper arms, elbows, forearms. Feel the wrists, hands, and fingers. And then bring your attention to the front of the throat, the back of the neck. Feel your face, the chin, the nose, the forehead, the eyes, cheeks. Feeling the ears, the back of the head. Then bring your attention to the crown of the head, the tippy top of the head. Come about an inch above the head. Pause with the bouncing. Notice what you feel. Flutter the eyes open. Inhale, grab from the floor below you. Lift the heels. You're going to rise on the tippy toes. Reach up. Breathe in. Exhale and... Yes. Oh, that was a good one. Could feel that from here. Ready? Inhale. Rising up. Reaching up. Exhale and... Just like that. Let's try it a few more times. Inhale. Remember, try to keep your tailbone tucked as the heels lift up, the arms reach up. We sharp exhale and release. Whew. How about 2 more times? Deep breath in. Reaching up and exhale, release. Oh, nice release there. Once more. Deep breath. And out. You got it, baby. Good job. Step the feet back out, hips width apart. Come back into your Wuji posture. Remember, knees are slightly bent. Tuck the tail, tuck the chin, elongating the spine. Pull down heavens 3 times. Inhale. And exhale. Don't forget to smile. There's that smile. And again, twice more. Deep breath in. And a long breath out. And one more time. Inhale. And exhale. All right, the next one is Mr. Chris's favorite exercise called shaking the tree. You want to give a little preamble to this?
Okay, so shaking the tree, do you realize that we're one of the only animals or mammals on land that does not shake it off when something happens? So as you see here, I'm starting off with my fingertips and I'm starting off with the wrists, and I'm going to start from the hands and I'm going to roll all the way up the body and I'm going to shake all the way down. So I'm going to inhale all the way up and now if you want to make this more fun, you could actually make a fun sound with it, like okay, inhaling all the way up.
That one.
And all right, let's do a couple more of those. Inhaling. You really have to relax and let go here. So the next time you have an intense conversation with something, or you see something on social media that upsets you, you just step aside and shake it off. Let's do one more just for good measures. Inhaling all the way up. And you can make the sound. All right.
Yeah.
And then let's pull it back 3 times, inhaling.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know us, welcome. If you're new to the Chi Club or the Chi Challenge, welcome. Chris and I are a husband and wife team, and I was just going to say that if we get into a heated discussion and I start shaking in front of him, he knows he's in trouble. Okay.
Note to self, sometimes shaking it off in front of your spouse only aggravates the situation. So you may have to go into another room.
The key tip there was to go into the other room, was what I was trying to say.
All right, what practice we got next?
Okay, let's do the microcosmic orbit meditation, which is a practice where we circulate the breath up the spine and down the center midline of the body. And the importance of this practice is, yes, get into your Wuji posture. So let's come back into that posture. Remember, toes are forward, knees are slightly bent. The key here is to tuck the tail, so there's elongation of the low back, chin is tucked. Then the tongue comes to the roof of the mouth, and Chris can tell us a little bit more as to why.
So the purpose for placing the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth behind the teeth is that you connect two major acupuncture vessels of the body. First, the governing vessel that ends right here, and the conception channel that ends at the underneath the tongue. So by mindfully placing the tip of the tongue there, we are purposefully connecting those two channels.
Mm-hmm. And then this, as you breathe up the spine, we're stimulating the central nervous system. And as you come down the center midline, which for a lot of times when we very first try this microcosmic orbit meditation, a lot of people say they don't feel it down the center as much, or they don't feel like a straight line, which is totally normal. So you just want to try your best and forget the rest. And so let's tune in here, coming into that Wuji posture, the tongue to the roof of the mouth. Maybe close the eyes as you inhale. Imagine, sense or feel the breath coming up the back, up the spine, up over the head. And then as you exhale, down the center midline, the face, the throat, the chest, the belly. With a slight lifting of the pelvic floor, inhale like a pump, breathing up the back, up over the head. And then exhale like a waterfall, down the center midline, the face, the chest, the abdomen. Almost as if you're bisecting the body in half. Inhale up the spine. And exhale down the front, creating an orbit around the torso and the head. Inhale, breathing up the back. And exhale and breathing down the front. Allowing for your imagination to lead the mind, and your mind to lead the smooth flow of the Qi. And for those of us who are new to Qigong and new to the concept of Qi, Qi is a life force energy that is within and all around us. And through the practice of Qigong and Tai Chi and mindfulness, we can guide and direct our own energy for internal cultivation, for these purposes of health and happiness. There's other applications as well, but for the Qi Challenge and the Qi Club, we are focusing on accessing higher states of wellness and well-being as you inhale. Imagine the breath coming up the back. And as you exhale, down the center midline, the face, the chest, the belly, around the pelvis. Inhale and breathe up. Exhale and breathe down. Try a few cycles at your own pace and at your own tempo. And each time the mind starts to wander, bring your focus back to the breath, back to the intention, the mind intent. Let's try 3 more cycles up and around, down the front and around the pelvis. when you're ready, flutter the eyes open, give a nice smile, and we clear that by pulling down heavens. See how that simple mind focus and breath practice combined with our posture could really allow us to get into a relaxed and ease state. That's the cool thing about the Qi Club and Qigong, is that no matter what's going on in our environment around us, we now have the tools in order to access ease, clarity, and peace of mind. The key is to recognize and to use the tools in the moment.
All right, so let's go directly into massaging the yang organs. So we're going to bring the arms up as we inhale, then we're going to exhale and release. Now, if you want to make this into more of a mindfulness practice, then what you go ahead and do is gently close the eyes. And as the hands come up, you can imagine a golden light coming up into the lower abdomen or into your internal organs, in particular your intestines and bladder, gallbladder, and stomach. And as the hands fall, you can allow for any toxicity to release out through the bottom of the legs or feet and down deep into the ground. So I'm using my legs as a pump here. So you notice Parisa and myself were kind of just bouncing, and this helps to pump as the hands come up, pump the hands up, which brings the energy up into the visceral cavity. Then as we exhale, allowing it to release. Now, one of the questions that's been asked is that how does Qigong compare to other mindfulness or health-related practices like yoga? Well, what I love about Qigong is that there's actually a Taoist form of yoga called Tao Yin. So there is a yoga component to it. And whether you call it Qi, prana, energy, it's all the same thing. The difference with Qigong, though, is that it combines both the mindfulness aspect and then an active aspect as well, too. So what does that mean? First of all, it means that as we do our Qigong practices, no matter how simplistic it is, like that microcosmic orbit meditation that Parisa was just instructing us through, it allows us to stay mindful in the present moment, to stay in our bodies. And as we use our mind intent then to guide the Qi, and as you'll see through the next 7 days here, we're going to be using this Qi in order to do different things in order to produce a better quality of life and increase our longevity. So this practice here, very good for digestion. Anytime you have an upset stomach, ate something that was wrong, that didn't settle right, this is a great practice to do. And you can actually walk and do this practice as well.
I was just thinking, this is kind of silly, but one of the advantages of the Zoom classes or Facebook Live is that, especially with these practices, as we move our Qi, if you accidentally pass gas or do something like that, no one can hear or smell you.
And
that's one advantage.
Yes, and this comes from a highly evolved Qigong master.
Yes. I'm just saying, because this practice specifically works on digestion, so, you know, everyone poops.
Even Ozzy and Noah.
Even Ozzy and Noah. Oh, that's messy. That cat Ash. Yes. Swinging.
So once again, bring this into a mindfulness practice. So you don't have to close your eyes. If you notice throughout the week here, a lot of these internal practices, I like to close the eyes because I like to really visualize the energy coming in. And I like to visualize the golden light circulating around the internal organs. And then just releasing out anything that doesn't serve me. Or like I said, with this particular practice, if I have anything going on within my digestive system, allowing that to release.
Oh, and I just, going back to that question about how Qigong compares to other health modalities, one thing that I've noticed, because I've done a lot of different types of modalities, is that with the Qigong, it's super simple. And its simplicity is what makes it so profound. And sometimes, like if you're, for example, a wood type, we'll talk about the 5 elements a little bit later, and you like that kind of aggressive, sweaty workout, sometimes these simple movements I don't know, for lack of better words, might be considered too easy or boring. But if you can seriously dedicate anywhere from 10 to 60 minutes a day, 2 to 7 days a week, then you will not only feel better, but you will notice some profound changes inside your life and throughout your life circumstance. It's quite fascinating.
All right, so we're going to slow it down here. Coming back to the center, pulling down the heavens once again 3 times. Inhale. And as we connect with our higher selves, whatever that looks like to you, just feel this white light as it comes in, saturating every cell, every tissue of the body. And as we exhale, feel what's going on. Feel inside your body. All right, let's go into wrapping the waist.
Oh, white pearl.
White pearl?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so bring the hands into the lower dantian, 1 inch below the belly button. So the lower dantian is considered one of the 7 chakras, also referred to as the lower field of elixir. So as we're going to go ahead and gently close our eyes, feel the breath come in and imagine a mystical white pearl that forms underneath the hands, gathering the energy from the space around us. As we exhale, we're going to allow for this white light to radiate around the waist to the kidneys on the low back. Each time you inhale, the pearl gets brighter and brighter. And then as you exhale, you feel the warmth and the white light radiate around the waist to the kidneys on the low back. Inhaling. Expanding the abdomen, exhale, feeling the warmth, feel the light. Now as you inhale, I want you to feel the walls, floor, and ceiling pull into your center core of your being. And now as you exhale, the pores open up on the skin, the energy rushes out like wind, front, back, left, right, above and beneath you in all directions. As you inhale, feel the walls, floor, and ceiling pull into your center. And then as you exhale, feel your light shine like a white phosphorus flare, filling up the entire space around you. Inhale. And exhale, feel your light fill up the entire room. Let's do a couple more breaths. Inhale. And exhale. And last one. Feel the walls, floor, and ceiling pull into your center as you inhale. And then as you exhale, feel your light shine. Slowly bat the eyes open, shaking out your feet and your hands.
All right.
Wow, how do you feel?
Feeling good.
Feeling good?
Yeah, woo, feeling refreshed. Oh, day 1, Chi Pillars. We're here on Zoom with the Chi Clubbers, and we're also live on Facebook Live. So if you did have a chance to get on Facebook, put a comment, let us know you're here, maybe share that post with your friends and families. We'd love to hear it. And I'm going to switch the music because the next song that we have, or that we started with and we're going to start with, is a message to ourselves and to the world.
Okay, and as she does this, the one last thing I'd like to say too is I'd like to challenge you to 7 days. So if you could do this for 7 days, a 7-day Chi challenge, and share this with other people. This is something in this time and space reality that we're living in. This is something that we definitely need. So let's share this with one another, and let's see if we could all do the 7 days. Day 7 on Sunday is a Q&A. So it's like a fireside chat where we get to ask questions, your health concerns, how does Qigong relate to those health concerns, and then things that we could do. So, okay.
All right, we're gonna make a change. Here it is.
Yes.
Starts today.
It starts
a new
today.
chapter.
New chapter. And how do we spell love?
Like this.
L-O-V-E. Love. And we will Chi you later.